Hello. What's up, Royce? Ralph? Rob? Filth? How are you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? I'm doing pretty good. Just sitting here bored. I had a minor surgery today, so I'm in a lot of pain and just figured I'd use you guys to keep me company since I'm sitting here by myself, and maybe you guys could help keep me preoccupied for a little bit. Just waiting for everybody to get in here. All right, good. You can hear me. Yeah, I'm having issues with my foot, and they had to kind of. They're worried that there's an infection in the bone, so they had to do a little like biopsy type of thing in it, and also cut out some of the dead tissue of my left foot. So, let's see, I'm all in a bandage. I don't know if you can see that well, but it's all bandaged up. They have what's called a compression wrap on it to help promote healing. Uh, yeah, I'm always dealing with health issues. It's just part of my journey. Oh wow, thank you so much, Royce. I can't stay long, but I just wanted to say that I appreciate everything you do and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. You have no idea how helpful that is and how much it means to me. Thank you. Yeah, neuropathy sucks. That's what Jin said, but it's not showing it for some reason. Your message was there. We go. Now it's showing. And look at that. Jin gifted 5 memberships. So welcome aboard, Joe, Diane, Charles, and Generic Bug. Welcome to the crew. Now you guys get the fun little eye logo. I always love seeing your guys' names with the eye logo next to it. It feels super good because I crafted that myself. I remember sitting there thinking, trying to come up with some kind of logo, trying to come up with something that represented me and what I wanted to do on this channel and whatnot. And the whole eye thing. I've always involved eyes in all my artwork. Um, kind of living a life with only being able to use one eye. It was always just something that was even when I didn't think about it, it was a part of my art. And so when I was creating a logo, it just kind of evolved, and so it's just always rad seeing your guys' names with that little eye next to it. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I don't know if I think of what I do as reviews, even though I do call them that. It just is more of just one guy who loves horror movies, sharing with a bunch of you that love horror movies as well. Just trying to help you guys find good things to watch. Yeah, isn't Kill List so good? It's such a sleeper. Let's see. Anybody that has any questions for me, put question and then put your question. So it just sticks out more if it has the word question in front of it. Because it's hard for me to keep track of everybody's comments and read everything. Let's see. Yeah, I was born with diabetes. I've had my big toe amputated on my left foot, and I've just dealt with a lot of problems with my hands. I don't know if you can see, but there's a really bad scar right here from surgery I've had on this hand. I have very little feeling. I can't bend that finger more than that, and I don't have a lot of feeling in my hands. So yeah, diabetes has been my struggle. Yeah, my eyes didn't work together either. And then because of that, this eye went blind. That's basically the story of my eyes. Is this? I had a basically I had a really bad infection when I was really little, like 5 or 6, and my mom didn't believe in modern medicine because she's very religious, cult type of beliefs at the time, and she took a needle basically and popped one of the eyes. It caused it to rupture too fast and the tendon between the eyes to get damaged. And so this eye, or basically both my eyes, just got separated by a long ways. So I could only look straight with one eye at a time. And because of that, I just started using this eye predominantly, which eventually caused this eye to go blind. So that's the story of my eyes. I really enjoyed Lamb. I actually went and saw that in theaters. I go see everything in theaters. Like if there's anything that is even remotely horror or horror adjacent, I generally go see in theaters. But I really liked Lamb. It's another one. I think most people probably wouldn't consider it horror, um, but it's still at least horror adjacent. But it's a real slow burn. It's very weird, but I love movies like that. Um, they're just moody and creepy, and there's just this strange, just like a strange environment that like you're put in this strange universe where everything resembles ours but just isn't quite exactly the same, you know. But yeah, I thought Lamb was a masterpiece. I've been waiting a long time to see it pop up on one of these streaming services so I could um, talk about it on one of my lists, but I have yet to see it pop up on a list. So uh, question from Jen: have you watched The Deep House? Yeah, I replied to your comment earlier about The Deep House. You must not read it, but yeah, I've recommended it a couple times here on the channel. I saw it. I'm pretty sure I rented it when it was like when it first dropped. I rented it on like Amazon or something. I never did a full review, but I have recommended it on a couple lists. The concept of The Deep House was better than the actual movie. I did like the movie. It's a cool movie, but the concept is just so cool, and the look of it is just so cool. Just this whole creepy movie being underwater, and the way it looks because they shot like it's all real. Like they really did shoot that movie underwater. So it's a fantastic movie, and all those those concepts. It just relied too much on just jump scares, and I didn't feel like it had a strong enough story to really. Um, yeah, I know Lamb is on Paramount, but Paramount is one of those, just like Peacock, that whenever I've made videos on them, they get like almost no views. So I've been waiting for it to drop on something like Tubi or Netflix. You know, one of the ones that people will actually watch. it, it drives me crazy. It's like all my list videos. I want to do more of all these different lists, but I don't know why exactly. But YouTube doesn't share them anywhere near on the same level. It's like, video, like my Tubi videos will get 15,000 views in the first week, whereas if I did a Paramount one, it'll get maybe 5,000. And it was one thing when I was just doing this as a side hustle and trying to develop it as a future, but that's another thing is now, because of my health and various reasons, also time wise, this is my only gig. Like, this is completely how I'm making a living right now. And luckily, I have my sister who is helping me out and letting me live at her place and drive her car, so I'm able to survive right now. It's just living off the channel. But yeah, so I have to make every video count. So that's why I can't just do whatever list I want to right now. I have to really make sure that my time is invested wisely, because as much as I hate to do this and make it about the money, because it really isn't, like, I just have passion for this, I still have to be careful and make sure that the videos I'm making are going to at least make some money so that I can, eat and survive. Let's see. Whatever questions that we got here. Sorry, I didn't announce that I was going to do this. I was just literally sitting here hurting and feeling kind of bored and lonely, and so I was like, hey, what the hell? Turn these lights on and see what you guys are up to, because I'm still going to do this on Friday. Like, on Friday, I'll do an actual legit live that I'll announce, probably tomorrow. Say, hey, at 4 o'clock or whatever on Friday, I'm going to do a live. But this is just an impromptu, like, extra deal. Okay. Next question from Royce. Do you have a letterbox? No, I think I did make a letterbox account, but I've never used it because I don't know. I forget to log a lot of the movies I watch, and then on top of that, I don't watch full movies a lot of times. So because I'll start a movie, and if 20-30 minutes in it's not grabbing me, then I'll turn it off, and so I'm not gonna log that. So generally, the movies that I think are worth a damn end up on one of my lists. But I do want to start logging that here probably pretty soon, because I have been watching a lot more movies that are not horror movies, and even though I don't feature them on the channel, there still kind of needs to be a place, I think, where I at least somewhat give my opinion on, like Little Mermaid, or Fast and Furious, or like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I've seen twice already. Um, you know, like, I'm going to be seeing Transformers probably tomorrow, because I go to the drive-ins like a couple times a week. It's where I do a lot of my editing. And so I see basically every big movie that's out. Um, Thank you so much, James. Just saying hi. Ever think of including horror anime? The problem with anime, or it's just like, to me, anime kind of falls in that same category as video games. It's such a vast, like, realm, and like, you have to try to stay in your lane, I think, because in order for me to be able to keep up with all the movies and all the news and all the stuff that's going on, in one thing. I have to really focus on just that one thing. Whereas if I were to include something like anime, it's just this whole other world of things. It's kind of like why it's hard for me to watch a lot of foreign horror as well. Like I'll catch the periphery ones, but as far as like, you know, watching all of them, like there's only so much time in the world, and especially for me right now, because I every single thing you see on this channel is done by me. There's not a single thing, not even one tiny thing on this channel that anyone else has done. Every single thing is done by me. Everything, the logo, every word that's written, like every single thing is me. And eventually, you know, if I can get it big enough, then eventually down the road, I'll be able to hire some people to do a few other things. And then I would like to, you know, kind of venture off a little bit into some other things, especially horror, video games, anime, you know, things like that. Maybe even do a separate channel for music. Like, I would like to try these other things, but it's just for right now, it takes everything I have to just make the content I am on here and get it out on time every single week. You know, especially with constantly dealing with health issues. You know, it doesn't make it doesn't make it any easier. And I don't mean to sound like woe is me. That's, you know, I don't mean that at all. That's not me. That's not my style. So I hope I'm not coming off that way. It's just, I don't know. I like to be honest with you guys and tell you guys like who I am and what I deal with in my life. Like I'm not one of those creators that's all trying to look all perfect and like my life is all perfect and live all this pretend glamorous bullshit life. Like, yeah, it's not me. Let's see. Oh, we got another super thanks from Castroy or Castroy. Thank you so much. $10, man. That's huge. Thank you. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, and I apologize if I didn't. Uh, let's see some other questions here. Brian Donahue, do you accept email? Yeah, my email is just my name, so Kanan Becker, all like one word, at yahoo.com. I don't always respond to a lot of emails, but I definitely accept them and I will always read them. Um, I just don't always respond if I don't know what to say. Also, I get a lot of spam stuff. I get a lot of people that want me to read their scripts or watch their indie movies and things like that, and I can't do it all with that. As much as I would like to cover every little project, I just can't. You know, I don't have that much impact anyway. So it's like if I were to review your movie or whatever and talk about it, you're not gonna get much from it because YouTube doesn't share that stuff, and that's what kills a lot of horror channels, especially the littler ones. They want to promote all their friends' movies and all these other things, and it's like, unfortunately, if it's not a recognizable name, YouTube isn't going to do much with it. They're not going to show people, so nobody's going to watch the video. And if nobody watches the video, then it was just kind of pointless to do. So, a little bit of a tangent there, but yeah, I definitely accept emails. Question from James. You reviewed Remember. Did you see Remind? And do you ever watch horror anime? I didn't see Remind. I don't think. I'm not sure what that is. I'd have to look it up and see what that is. I don't think I've seen that though. Uh, Question. Do you use Letterboxd? I already answered that one. Have you ever seen Never Lake? No, I haven't. But yeah, Never Lake. That does sound familiar, but I don't think I've seen that. Your opinion of free movie sites and apps that are basically in so many words. pirating. I'm not a fan of pirating at all, because so many different people in the movie industry, they get their paycheck based on the amount of views that a movie gets, especially the smaller indie movies. So like, you'll see like a little micro movie, and they'll get some name actors. Well, a lot of those actors that are in that movie, the reason they signed on to do that movie is because they get points on the back end, which means they only get paid if that movie makes a little bit of money, and then they'll get paid a percentage on what that movie makes. So if that movie is pirated, the more it's pirated, the less money goes into the pot. The less money goes in the pot, the less money goes out to those actors and everybody else involved. And it sucks because it's easy for us to think of movie business people as like being all rich and famous and blah blah. But for every rich and famous person there is in the movie industry, there's like 100,000 other people who just are barely surviving to get by. It's just like YouTube. For every big YouTube creator that are becoming millionaires, there's 1,000 other guys like me who are barely making enough money to survive, even on a tiny scale. I mean, basically like a minimum wage job. Like most of us creators are basically making like a minimum wage kind of job money from this, if we're lucky. Like a lot of channels don't even do as good as this one, and it's because you guys are awesome. Like the community that's developing here is amazing. But so pirating is just not okay because you're taking money straight out of the pocket of the writers, the little guys. It's never the big businesses that get hurt. Like they don't ever get hurt. It's like any other industry, right? They got insurance and they got this and that. That doesn't hurt them. But it's those little guys, even on the big money projects, those are the ones that are getting just killed. And literally, you're taking money out of their family's mouth. On top of that, if these indie movies don't make money, then you're going to have less indie movies made, period. Because the people out there that have money to produce movies, if a director's money or if a director's last movie didn't make any money, it doesn't matter how good it is. If it's pirated a bunch, like Skinamarink, it's such a tiny movie that got a ton of pirated, like tons and tons of people pirated that movie. So it made almost no money. In the long run, it'll probably end up being okay because I think the filmmaker has got his name out there and he'll end up making money down the road, hopefully, from it. But the movie itself didn't make shit. And it's sad because millions of people saw that movie, but he made like no money from it. And, Shudder has made no money from it because tons of people already pirated it. So instead of people watching it when it came onto Shudder, people pirated it. So to me, I think if you can't afford to rent a movie, that's fine. Just wait for it to stream somewhere. Even on Tubi or Prime, the filmmakers, they still get a percentage of that. They still get, it's kind of like the same as they would with YouTube. Like they get royalties based on every time the movie is watched, they get a couple cents from that view. It's the same kind of thing with Tubi and Prime and every other legal streaming service. So it's like, I'm not saying you should go spend $5.99 or whatever to rent a movie, but when you go and pirated it, you're literally stealing it. And it just really bothers me because even more than that, you're putting money into the pockets of these people out there that are doing something very illegal and they're getting rich. You're making a criminal rich. It's like buying drugs from a drug dealer. It's like if you want to smoke weed, right on, but you're buying it from some street guy, that's lacing it with PCP. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was a bad analogy, but I think you know what I mean. Like, let's not support criminals. Question, do you have email for your channel? Yes, it's kananbecker@yahoo.com. So Kanan Becker, all one word, at yahoo.com. most information you're going to want is always in the channel, in the descriptions of every video. There's a whole bunch of information down in the description of every video. Yes, I've seen Evil Within, but I'm blanking on it. I remember enjoying it, but it's been a while since I saw it, so it's not really popping in mind. I do remember really liking it, though. Have you ever had a chance to see Lance Hendrickson's series Millennium? No, I haven't. Have you seen the Australian movie The Ugly? Nope, I haven't seen that either. Man, you guys are coming up with a bunch of stuff I haven't seen today, which is rare. Have you seen Kim Dracula's music for... Yeah, I love Kim Dracula. Kim Dracula is the shit. Like, I'm surprised he's still not bigger known. Like, I really dig everything he's doing. I think it won't be too long before Kim Dracula is much bigger and much more of like a mainstream pop star on some level. Like, he's this crazy combination of like Marilyn Manson meets Korn, you know, with like hip hop, and he's just super interesting. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure in the community I posted a link to Kim Dracula's video for Make Me Famous. Or no, maybe it was his newest video that I posted a link to. Those cutscenes. Question: have you seen Martyrs? If not, don't. You'll regret it. No, I actually am a big fan of Martyrs, the original French version. Yes, it fucked me up. It's super disturbing and one of the most bleak, dark, savage movies ever made. But it also, I like movies like that, even if they're super dark and unhinged. If they have something to say and there's a message and there's actually a movie there, and it's not just like, I'm not a fan of gore for gore's sake or shock movies. But if a movie is well done and it has gore and it has shocking elements in it, but it serves the story and it serves what it's trying, you know, like it makes sense in the overall scheme, then I'm a big fan of that. I'm just not a fan of it just being done for the sake of shocking people. You know, it reminds me of what do you call it? It reminds me. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like lying, just trying to get. It's like clickbait, you know. When there's shock for shock's sake, it's just clickbait. It's just trying to get people to watch the movie based on other people being like, "Oh my God, have you seen so and so movie?" You know. But if it serves the plot, and like in Martyrs, I feel like it really serves the story. It makes sense in the scheme of what that movie's about and the overall message. Fuck off to partying and fuck off to suicide. Yeah, exactly what Jin said about pirating. If you swear in the comments, I don't mind, but it just means that I have to approve your comment, so it may take a little bit for it to actually show up, because YouTube will automatically hold them. I wish there was a way for me to make it to where it would just automatically accept swearing, because I am fine with swearing. Like, I don't understand people that get so offended by words. Vincent Rodriguez said, question, do you still collect hard copies of movies? VHS. VHSs are the only thing I buy hard copy anymore. I don't buy Blu-ray or DVDs. I have quite a few of both, but I just don't bother because I know I'm just not going to really watch them that way. Most of the time, I'm going to stream a movie, and if I'm feeling nostalgic or I'm wanting to watch a movie on like in a hard copy format, then I want VHS because it just takes me back to being a kid. And I always had this dream of one day having like a big, like having a room that reminds me of like an old school VHS store. I think that would be really fun. Uh, Phil 303 says, question, can I get your music info again? The best place to find the music that I did is Mahala. So it's MahalAH. That's MahalAH. And if you search in Google Mahala music, you'll the best place to listen to a bunch of free songs is on Ayuma. It's like Mahala Music at Ayuma or something like that. But if you search for Mahala Music, there's definitely still songs you can download or stream. And then there's, I think, one free full concert on YouTube that if you just look up Mahala, but you got to make sure it's spelled right, Mahalah, not Mahalo like the Hawaiian way. And then also, oh, I got another super chat. Thank you so much, Stu. You're awesome. Super appreciate that. I wish I could make. See, I'm looking at this, and I wish I could make the comments bigger because my eyesight is not good. No, I haven't seen Malum yet. I want to. I was planning on renting it this, or I was thinking about renting it and doing a review of it this week. I might, but with having to have this done on my foot, it's kind of slowed down. I've had to deal with a bunch of other medical stuff this week and appointments and this and that, so I haven't have been able to get as much work done as I wanted. So, but we'll see. I'm almost done with next week's video editing right now. So if I get done with it, I may end up still reviewing Malum. But I haven't watched it yet. I really want to see it though. Question from Ralph. Do you have a Cash App? No, I don't do Cash App, but I do PayPal and I do Venmo. So if anybody wanted to Cash App or Venmo me, or I mean Venmo me or PayPal me, if we just look up Kanan Becker, all one word. Yes, I have lots of tattoos. How did you lose your eye? I talked about it earlier. It's still there. It's just pretty much blind. I had an infection happen when I was a kid, and basically my eyes got messed up, and I could only look straight with one eye at a time. And so because I used this one predominantly, this one went blind. That's the short of it. Question from Bryce. I'm a huge fan of the movie Eden Lake and was wondering if you could recommend anything virtually the same type of style. Have you seen same type of style? Have you seen Honeymoon? That's not really the same kind of style, but there's something about it similar to me. All the I would look up French extreme movies. like the movie Them. Is it Them? I, I think it's Them that I'm thinking of. It's a French extreme movie. I'm looking that up. I'm pretty sure it's a or it's named Them. Yeah, Them. It's actually it's like L some. I'm trying to look for the actual name in French because sometimes you have to look up the French name. But it's Them, Them, and it's LLS is the original title. LLS, and it's from 2006. Um, I would say, I mean, it's definitely not exactly Eden Lake, but it definitely has a lot of those same, like, really savage, brutal elements to it. Let's see. Question: Do you have? I wish that's how I lost my eye. That'd be a lot cooler story. Question: Are you going to have a top 10 best horror anthology movie video? Eventually, that's one of the ones on my list. It's just right now YouTube doesn't really share those list videos, so I had to kind of stop doing those at least for a little bit and focus back on the streaming service recommendation list because those get like 3 or 4 times more the amount of views. And since because of my health, I can't do any other job on the side. I have to just focus on this. So I got to make every video count the best I can to make enough to survive. As it is, I'm barely surviving, but yeah. Uh, but eventually, I plan when the things get going a little bit better and I'm doing a little bit better in general. I plan to go back and doing some of those again, and that's one of the ones. Let's see, Jess Nick, are you excited for the DDG sequel to The Exorcist? Uh, oh, you're talking about the new Exorcist movie coming out this year? No, I'm not excited about it, but um, I'm gonna see it regardless. But I'm not expecting much from it. I was not a huge fan of the most recent Halloween trilogy. I feel like especially it got worse as it went. Um, and then I have heard from different sources. I've heard a little bit of what the story and the script's going to be, and so I'm not saying I think it's going to suck, but I don't get my hopes up. I don't get my hopes up for anything really. Like even Evil Dead Rise, I was super excited to see it, but I didn't have my hopes up. I kind of always go into everything as close to the middle as possible. Not too high, not too low, because if you're too high, you're almost always going to be disappointed. And I mean, if you're too low, then sometimes you just pick a movie apart and you're like, it's like you want to. I don't know. It's weird. It's you go into a movie expecting it to suck. In a strange way, it's almost like you're gonna make it suck. Your mind is already set that it's gonna suck. So I try not to do that either. Um, so I'm not expecting it to be amazing per se, but I also, I'm not. I don't know. I'm just kind of going in with an open mind. I would like it to be good, and I think David Gordon Green has the potential to make it good. But there was just a lot of choices he made with the Halloween trilogy that I'm just really not. Yeah. Oh, Speak No Evil is a great one as a recommendation. Oh, also Coming Home in the Dark, Back to Eden Lake, like movies kind of along those lines. Coming Home in the Dark, which is on Netflix, and also like Annika said, Speak No Evil. Both those movies, if you haven't seen those are really good. That are in that Eden Lake kind of thing. Let's see. Question from Generic Bug One: what do you want for your birthday? Um, I don't know. My birthday's not for a while. It's not until December. So I don't ever really want anything for my birthday. I just want it to happen and be a positive day. I'd love to travel. Like everything in my whole life right now, I just that's what I'm trying to work towards is being able to travel. I want to travel and meet you guys and be able to, you know, see people in person, and that's all I really want in this with the rest of my life is to be able to travel around and meet people and I want to visit like famous horror locations. You know, either they're real horror like a serial killer location, or something that was like from a set from a movie, or just fun cool shit like that. Okay, trilogy blah, blah, blah. Question, what do you want? Question from Phil: I've seen your Facebook and have checked out your artwork. Do you have any available for sale? All my art is still for sale. Like a lot of it, I still have the originals, and all of them are available as prints. I just haven't been able to do my art since 2020 because of problems with my hands, and then the focus on the channel. But I still have a huge storage, like a massive storage full of lots and lots of my original artwork. So, but yeah, if you just type in my name, Kanan Becker, on Instagram, you'll see my art page, and there's a lot of art on there. LFG. Oh, Mark, another super chat from Mark. Thank you so much. He wrote, keep doing the best for yourself and the channel. Your reviews are great, and I have been watching every video of yours for at least the last 6 months. I know, I remember I've seen your name on here, Mark, for a long time. Like, there's a ton of new names, but you're with that group of the OGs who've been following it for a while, since it was smaller. And then another super thanks from Big Chris. Thank you so much. He wrote, "Here's a beer on me, brother. Hey, have you seen the new series From?" Yeah, I'm actually watching From right now. I think I'm 5 episodes in, and so far, man, what a series! And season 2 just came out, so once I'm done with the first season, then there's a whole nother season. Um, I might do a review on it. I always struggle with reviewing a series because it's just so much to it. It's hard to like kind of talk about this entire series like it's a blanket. It's easier to talk about something that's 2 hours long than it is something that's like 8 hours long, basically. Um, but yeah, so far, if you haven't seen From and you're looking for a horror series, like it is so cool. It's super imaginative and very creepy and with monsters, and I just can't wait to see the direction it goes. There's lots of mysteries to it. It reminds me of Lost in a lot of ways. Let's see, where can we send you stuff? There's an address in the description of all my videos. There's an address down in there. You're welcome to send me anything if you want to mail me whatever. And that question was from Jin Jin. I never know exactly how to say your name. Question from Joe: Did you like Tucker and Dale? Hell yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is amazing. It's one of my favorite horror comedies because it's like super funny and zany, but yet it still has straight up gore, and it's just a fun movie. I love those movies that you don't have to overthink and you could just have fun with sometimes. And Tucker and Dale is like a perfect one, like, for that category. See, question from Just Nick. What movie do you find let's see. What movie do you find personally? Oh, this thing keeps moving. What question do you find personally for you has scared and disturbed you the most? Um, the movies that have scared me the most, it's all based on that time, like a time frame. So the first movie that really scared me and really creeped me out was Pet Cemetery, and that was like my first real horror movie that I saw. Then there was Event Horizon that really scared me and really stuck with me for a long time. And so, like, there's always, every so often there'll be a movie that just really sticks with me and really grabs me. But most recently, the Night House. The Night House like really got to me. Just the way they handle the the villain or the evil in it, the way it's done, it just feels like so disturbing and uncomfortable. And that movie is dark and just creepy as hell. And there was something about it that just really, really stuck with me long after that movie was over. And it's just an amazing movie, and it's why it was my number one movie for 2021. It's just so right now the Night House would be the most recent movie that just really stuck with me and gave me chills. Let's see. Brian wrote, "Why do you feel American Horror Story lost its edge?" I think American Horror Story lost its edge the same reason like a lot of series that run so long do is it's like there's only so many stories you could tell. There's only so many different great characters and stuff you can tell. And with American Horror Story, every season, was a different story, but still it's just there's only so many different cool things you can do. And then on top of that, it it got watered down because a lot of this, like when a show like that is really successful, something that people don't realize, it's kind of like in sports when a team wins the championship, a bunch of they lose a lot of their best coaches and they lose a lot of their best players because they all go on to these bigger, like they start these new projects and they have new opportunities. And it happens with TV series, it happens in movies. Like if you put this big fat show on your resume, your chances of getting a lot of these other jobs and stuff, like if you were a DP or something, like a smaller or like whatever on the set for a series, and then this show becomes huge, now all of a sudden you're getting offers to be a showrunner for some other show. And so now that show lost that person. So basically, what I'm saying is you lose a lot of that talent that made that show so good, especially when it comes to the writers, because shows like that have a bunch of different writers, and they a lot of times can't afford to keep them because it's like the show makes a bunch of money, and all those people are like, "Hey, where's my money?" Like, and you can only pay out so many people, and then a lot of times that's due agreed because the creators of the show or whoever that's at the top of the food chain is like, I'm not going to pay all you guys. I don't need you guys. I did this myself. And so then you don't pay those people. A lot of times those are the people as a group that made that show so good. So, it's hard to hang on. So thank you so much, Annika, for a $5 or $4.99 donation. Thank you for your great energy and recommendations. You are so welcome. Thank you for the super thanks. Or I don't know what these are called. Is it super chat? Yeah, super chat. Thank you for your super chat. Jessica Lange is brilliant. All right, ETV question: have you seen Something Evil with Darren McGavin? I don't know if I've seen that. It does sound familiar, but I can't place it. So I might have seen it, but I'm just not sure without seeing a poster or something. Let's see. Question: where can we send you stuff? There's an address in the description of all my videos where you can send me if you want to send me a letter or if you found some little weird toy or something. Not going to guarantee that it's always going to make it onto the set. But yeah, if you want to send me anything, there's an address in the description of all my videos where you can send it. Question: what about the new Beetlejuice that's being filmed? I'm soaked, and I'm extremely excited for the Crystal Lake series. I think just with the talent involved, it's being produced by A24, and just everybody that so far is on board with creating that, I think it's got really good potential. I do think you're going to end up having a lot of Friday the 13th fans pissed off, though, because I think it's going to be deeper and more powerful and more like legit script and acting and all these things like what you would expect from an A24 project. And it isn't going to be just super heavy, Jason just brutally ripping people up with a machete. Like, it's just not going to be that. There's going to be a lot more character development. There's going to probably be people out there yelling, whoa, because there's probably going to have some, something or other there's always people yelling that these days. So I think it's going to be like a diverse cast, and it's going to have, like a lot of different characters that it's going to, develop, and a lot of character stories. But I think it will still have Jason at one point, and it is still going to have blood, and it's still going to have kills. So I think someone like me, I'm going to love it. But I definitely think a lot of people are going to be not happy with it as well. I think it'll end up being pretty polarizing. So, but we'll see. As far as Beetlejuice, I don't know. I don't know much about it yet. I'm excited to see it. I love Beetlejuice. It's one of my favorite, it probably is my favorite Tim Burton movie. And I love Michael Keaton. So I wouldn't have been that excited. I wouldn't have been as excited to see it if it didn't have Michael Keaton. I feel like after this, if they retire Michael Keaton and they have someone else come in or something, that's fine. But I've always felt like if you're going to make a sequel to it, you got to bring Michael Keaton back at least one time. I feel that way about like a lot of great movies. If you're going to make a sequel, you got to try if you can to bring back that star character, unless you're going to reboot it. If you reboot it, then it's, whatever. Thank you, ETB, for the $5 donation. Since you seem to like a lot of the original horror or just plain scary movies, you gotta see Something Evil from '72. Okay, I don't have a way to write it down right now. Where can I stream that? Something Evil. It sounds so familiar. Like, I'm just wondering if I've seen that. I'm already working on another Tubi list because Tubi added a bunch of good stuff. I'm looking on Tubi right now and seeing if it's on there. Because for old movies especially, that's where I generally look. Something Evil. You said from 72. Something Evil. 1972. I am not going to lie. The 70s are still kind of a little bit of a blind spot for me. There's a lot of 70s movies that I haven't seen. There's a lot I have, but there's just a lot I haven't. It is strange because I've seen a lot of horror from the 60s and back, and a lot from the 80s and forwards. But for whatever reason, the 70s just there's not a ton that I or there is a ton that I haven't seen, and it's really bizarre. Okay, this looks super familiar. I think I have seen it, but I think it's been like, like 30 years. It's not streaming anywhere. Oh, that's why it sounds familiar. It's one of Steven Spielberg's first movies. Yeah, it's like one of his very first movies. But it's not streaming anywhere. That's the worst. I hate when movies aren't streaming anywhere. It's so hard to watch movies these days if they're not streaming. All right. Where can we see new stuff? Okay. Anybody wondering where you send me stuff? The address to mail me anything or send me anything is in the description of all my videos. I'm not sure why I keep seeing that question, but do you have any horror themed tattoos? I have the beginnings of my calf on my right leg. It's really faint, so you couldn't even really probably see it on camera. Yeah, you can't really see it. But it's the outline of all the great horror characters. It's got Jason, Candyman, Michael Myers, um, Chucky, Pinhead, Leatherface, Wolfman, Creature in the Black Lagoon. I think that's it. But the guy that was supposed to finish it ended up getting in trouble, and he ended up going to jail or whatever, and I didn't want him to finish it. I just have never got around to getting it finished because, it's a lot of money. He was going to do it for free. I used to get a lot of tattoos done for free when I was in music and stuff. And then because of my health, I don't heal very well either. So I just don't get as many tattoos as I used to. But I would love to get that finished one day. It might be the last tattoo I ever get because I don't heal very well. But I would love to get that done. I probably have to get it in like small little sections at a time, so I can heal. But I'd love to get that before my time is done. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I love Alice Sweet Alice. That's a classic. That's a really good one. Oh, here we go. I read the book Bullet from God, and the movie comes out in a couple of weeks. I don't know much about that. I have heard that I have heard it's really good. I know a few people that have seen it and said the movie was really good. Like I forget where they saw it. They got like an early screener or whatever. So I don't know if it's going to be horror yet. I know it is definitely horror adjacent, and I plan to watch it, and I'll probably cover it on the channel. But I don't know yet. I've never read the book, so I don't know. And from what they said, it's got a lot of horrific scenes at the very least. Let's see. What are my favorite snacks while watching movies? I eat a lot of like Walmart has these trail mix things that are really really good. They have like this peanut butter chocolate one, and it's got like these peanut butter chocolate little um like candies in it, and it's got a couple different kinds of nuts in it, and it's just like a trail mixy kind of thing, but it's not healthy. but it's really, really good. I really like that one. And they have a tropical fruit one I really like too. Like they just a variety. They have the like a coffee flavored one. I of course like popcorn, but I like those because I like the mixture of getting to have like lots of different variety of things that I'm snacking on. Almost like like each bite is different. I love that kind of stuff. I take usually a bag of something like that with me to the drive-ins. I also really like nachos at the drive-ins or at going to movies, but usually I get a popcorn and a large Coke Zero, and my favorite candy is chocolate covered gummy bears. That's my favorite candy to eat while watching a movie. It's a weird one, but man, I really want to play the new Dead Space video game. I still haven't played it yet. I don't get to play video games really very much. Um, I play Fallout. That's about that's mainly the only game I really play. Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, and Elder Scrolls. I love Kolchak, the Night Stalker, the movie and the series. I love Night. I still watch, like it's free streaming. I forget where I found it. I just searched in the Apple thing, and it came up, and it's free. Like it's got like limited commercials, but and it's on YouTube as well. But I love the Night Stalker, man. Like it's that cheesy '70s era that I just love. Question you mentioned it. Do you? Let's see. Muddy Buddies. I like. There's a place in the mall that has candy, and their chocolate covered gummy bears are amazing. They have these big ones that are cinnamon, so they're a chocolate covered cinnamon gummy bear, and they're like a lot bigger. Those are so good. But as a diabetic, that stuff will put me into like fall asleep in the middle of the movie. So I generally don't eat much candy like during movies. I'm a huge Lovecraft fan, especially when it comes to movies. I've read some of his writings. Thank you so much, Beast. My favorite horror host in the world. I like you can share some of your badass mask if you have any cool stories. I only have a couple masks here. I have some more in storage, but like I have those ones sitting up there. Um, I've made some of the mask I have. Like like this one. I made this one. It's like a combination of a couple masks I basically cut up, sewed it together, repainted it, and then yeah, do various things to them. I did that quite a bit in 2020. I made a lot of different masks like that, but I also just have a lot of different masks. I only have a few really nice ones though. I used to have a lot more, but I just don't have the place to keep them right now. So they're either in storage or I gave them away, sold them. You know. Do you have any horror themed? Well, you want to buy this one? email me. We'll talk about it. I don't even know how much I'd sell it for or whatever. But yeah, you're welcome to email me at kananbecker@yahoo.com if you're actually interested in buying it. Oh, I have this one up here too. This is another one that I made. And this is the same kind of thing. It's like I think it's like three different masks cut apart. And then, because like there's the inner part to give it like the rigidity I wanted, and to have this like inner part so it looks like that's you behind this mask sort of thing, so you don't have to worry about wearing makeup with it. Kill clowns from hell. Yeah, kill clowns from hell. I like that. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, all my art is on Instagram. So if you just type in my name, Kanan Becker, on Instagram, you'll find my art page. But there's tons and tons of art, sculpture, paintings, drawings, all different things on there. But I mean, I even have some of my art here. Let's see here. Like, it's kind of dark in this hall. Let me see if I can. So like that's a painting I did. See, you can see it. It's kind of hard to get a good line on it. And then here in my living room, I got all these movie posters. But like, I have art everywhere. Like I have sitting here in the living room that hasn't even been put away, and I have tons and tons of art in my storage. Like, I have this piece. And I have like little pieces. Like that one. Yeah, I have stuff all different sizes and shapes. I used to make a lot of art. Thank you. Yeah, my art is very abstract. It's what's called abstract expressionism. So it's like not straight abstract, because I still have some elements of humans in there for the most part. MTV Cribs Ghost Pirate Edition. Yeah, but if you looked in my fridge, there's like nothing in it. Definitely not all the cool drinks that they get to have. I need to go to the store, actually. I do have raisin or oatmeal raisin cookies. They got me on this antibiotic where you need to take it a couple times a day and eat something with it. And my stomach's already messing with me, so he told me eat roughage, like oatmeal stuff. And I didn't feel like making a bunch of actual oatmeal, so I just went with the oatmeal raisin cookies. They're actually pretty good for store ones. Like, I didn't feel like making them. I'm not feeling super hot, so. Oh, wow, Lester, holy crap. I didn't even notice that. Thank you so much. I love your videos so much. When I'm having a bad day of meetings, I watch your videos and your energy just melts. Everything else goes away. And I have 20 minutes of fun thinking about nothing else. You have no idea how much that means to me. Like, that's the whole goal of what I'm trying to do with this channel, is just to help, people. Like, a lot of people, I guess they start channels for different reasons, but mine was just like, the real truth of it is, it started as me just trying to help other people stuck in quarantine find something to do, find something to watch, like be hopefully entertained. And and it's grown from there, but at the root, that's still what it's about. It's still about just trying to help this community be entertained and do my part. And if we can all kind of be brought together and have these conversations and connected, as well, like, and then the fact that I've been able to help bring eyeballs to a lot of these little smaller indie movies that are amazing, that deserve more love, that's just a bonus too. And like, the fact that it's like brings a smile or positivity in some way, shape, or form to people is just amazing. The fact that I'm able to make a living doing this right now, even if it is a very, very like meager one, I'm still, getting to achieve my dreams, and it's this really amazing thing that's happening. So I'm very grateful to all you guys. Yeah, all my art's available, as well as the mask. Like, if anybody's actually interested in buying something, I could really use the money right now. Like, until I get my next YouTube check, like, I'm barely surviving. So if someone actually does want to buy some art, that'd be rad. Just like I said, just email me at kananbecker@yahoo.com. The email is in the description of all my videos. The email, as well as my Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So just hit me up whenever if you want to see or talk about something. I'd love to do more foreign horror movies, but right now it's really hard to go outside of my lane that much, and to do a top 10 foreign horror movies, it means you like literally have to cover the entire world. And when I put one of those lists together, I don't just say, out of the movies that I've seen, this is the 10 best. Like, I don't do that. It may seem like that's what I do, but that's not what I do. I actually try to feel like I've seen at least all of the top movies, like, so if I'm doing werewolves, I'm not going to make my list until I feel like I've seen all the best werewolf movies that are out there, like at least that the majority of people out there consider to be in the running. Until I've seen every single one of those, I'm not going to make a top 10 list. And so to make a top 10 foreign, it's the same kind of thing. Like, I could tell you my 10 favorites right now, but that's not the same kind of list. To a top 10, that's literally the best in the world, and that would take a lot of research and a lot of time. I just don't have that at the moment. But at some point, I would love to do something like that. What I'd love to do even beyond that is do like my 10 favorites from each different major country. Like my favorite Korean, my favorite Japanese, my favorite German. Like, and do a 10 best from each one of these different countries. And then ultimately rank them all, kind of thing, or something. That would be amazing. I'd love to do something like that. But once again, right now, it's hard for me to do any of those because YouTube just doesn't share those. They just don't share that type of top 10 list like at all compared to the way they share, a Tubi one or a Netflix one or a Amazon Prime one. They promote those way more. Like Netflix drives me crazy because it's the one that they share the most, but Netflix is also the streaming service that seems to have the least. Like they have some good movies. They just don't hardly ever rotate them, and they very rarely get any good new like a new horror like originals or whatever. Like I don't know what's going on with Netflix. They really feel like they're dying, in my opinion. I mean, they're not dead or anything, but it does feel like they're slowly fading. They're not what they once were, and especially for horror. Like there was a time when I felt like their horror, at least the rotation, was pretty strong, but it doesn't feel strong at all anymore. So, Kingdom from Netflix. That's the zombie one. I started it and then I was enjoying it, but it's really hard for me to watch series. So I get distracted because I have other things, and then I end up not being able to go back to it for various reasons. But I still haven't finished Kingdom, but I really was enjoying it. I think I saw the first couple episodes. Yeah, first couple, and I was really enjoying them. I just really have a hard time doing series. Like From, I'd been wanting to watch for a while now. I finally was just like, screw it, I'm gonna watch it. Like I still haven't even watched um um oh, what's the Yellow Jackets? I need to still watch Yellow Jackets. Oh, there was a question. Where'd it go? Speaking of Malum, have you seen his previous movie, Dread? Yeah, I actually recommended Dread on the channel on a Tubi video a couple months ago. Really good movie. Like I really like his style. And as much as I'm looking forward to seeing Malum, I wish he had just done a new movie in a way, because Last Shift was so good, and everything I've heard about Malum is, yeah, it's better than Last Shift, but it's still basically the same movie. And I wish he had just taken that budget and made a whole new movie. But I mean, I get it. I get it on an artist level. Like, you have this vision in your head of something you want to make, and it's hard to ever let that go. You always have this vision, and it never changes. That vision never goes away. You always want it to be a certain way. It's something that a lot of filmmakers, I think, a problem that a lot of filmmakers run into is fixating on that one vision. And if you're like offering them money to make it the way they had originally planned, they're going to do that. Like 9 times out of 10, they're going to do that rather than making a new thing, because that vision is still not what they were envisioning. Like, I'm someone, though, that the way I've always been is, as soon as I finish a project, I move on to the next. So it doesn't even matter if that project came out at all like I had anticipated, or if it was a flop. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Once I stop working on that, I'm done. I don't work on multiple things at the same time. Like, I'm very tunnel vision with everything I do. I work on that thing, and as soon as I stop working on it, it's time to move on to the next. Alright, I think that I'm going to call it. I need to make myself some food. Probably go to the grocery store. Try to use this little bit of energy I have left before I'm done for the day, kind of thing. But thanks for hanging out with me. I definitely want to do this again on Friday afternoon. So it'll probably be like 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Friday. So if you guys want to come hang out with me again, I'll probably do it a little bit longer then as well. So yeah, definitely come hang out on Friday. And if anybody did, was serious, they mentioned wanting to buy some art or whatever, or if you have any questions, like I said, just email me, kananbecker@yahoo.com. It doesn't have to be related to art or whatever, just in general if you have a question. Or you can always comment on any video. I pretty much read them all. I definitely do my best to read them all. YouTube scrambles them up sometimes, and it's weird. I'll see a comment that someone had left like months ago, and all of a sudden I'll now see it like coming up. It's weird. I don't know. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna take off. So thanks again, guys. Thank you for all your donations as well, and I will see you guys on Friday.